Hi there, Agile Loaders. You might be here because you're wondering how did I generate the data for the load test video that we did, or you might just be here because you want to know how to generate data on a target application with AgileLoad, and that's what we're going to do over the next 10 minutes. You're going to need a web application. We're using Plants by WebSphere, and of course you're going to need AgileLoad. So off we go. I'm going to create my new script by clicking on the new script icon. I'll call this create users, because that's what we're going to do, create users on this this website so that we can use them for data in a load test. I'm going to hit the record button, and my address is here, so just navigate to it. You can see we're capturing requests here, and to register I need to actually go to the login screen, and I need to choose the register for your own account here option. So I'm going to put that in. I need to register a email address, so let's choose loaduser@agileload.com. just any old email address will do. I'm going to choose a password of password, and I want all my users to have the same password. It just makes data management a little bit easier. So let's give this user a name. So any old address data is fine here. Doesn't really matter what we put in, just as long as we obey the client verification rules. So yeah, okay, that's good, it's registered. So this website actually just takes you back to the home page once it's registered. All I need to do now is click the stop button. Let's close this browser, and we can see the thumbnails of what we recorded here. If I click on this one, you see the HTML rendered up in here. And we're going to go across to the point where we actually were registered. So this was the last page, and I want to take a look at the client tab. So this is what parameters were sent in order to get that page, and you can see here what we sent across, so our username and password. So if I run this script over and over, then of course it won't work because I can only register load user once. So I'm going to give this parameter a dynamic value. So I'm going to choose a variable which I'm now going to create. I'll call it username, and we're going to choose a global scope. For things like usernames, always choose global scope. In the training videos that will follow, we talk about scope in more depth in the really technical videos. I'm going to create a value list and use this lightning strike here to generate values. In fact, I'll have a prefix of load user and a suffix of @agileload.com, and I want 1,000 unique values. I'm going to increment from 0 to 1. So I click OK, and there we go, we've got load user 12345 at agileload.com. I'm going to create those into a file. I'll just call these plants users, and I'm going to choose sequential, not random, because it's a data generation script. I want to make sure that if anything happens, I can just start from a known point, whereas if it was random, we'd be skipping all over this this file that we're generating here. So I click on generate and close, and then finally I choose my my parameter and apply the changes. So if you're interested in the script, you can see the user ID is now using this dynamic value. If we go up to the top of the script, you can see where that's declared. So we're declaring it as a string and pointing it to the plants users file, and we're using next username, which is the line that moves the file pointer to the next value. If we'd chosen random, it would be generate, and that would choose a random point in the file. If you want to take a look at the file, just go to the insert modify variable button and just click on the file button here and choose a file that you generated. Click on edit, it opens up in Notepad. It's just a CSV file, we call them FVRs, and you can edit this or do whatever you like with it, but this is what's going to feed our data generation script. So when we run it in its totality, we should have 1,000 username and password credential sets, and therefore accounts on the system. So the first one it's going to run is load user 0 at AgileLoad.com. So let's close this and let's play it back and see what it does. It's saying it's finished. It ran very quickly. I'm going to show you something in a moment to show why it ran very quickly. It's what you always want to set when you're doing script development. You don't want to be waiting around. And I'm going to confirm that yes, I do want to look at the replay differences. Just click OK on here. And if we go to the last page, sorry, the second to last page, we can see what we got during capture and what we got during replay. So we got the same page back. That's looking good. If we click to the client tab, let's just pull this window up a little bit, scroll up. You can see in capture we logged in, as you remember, with load user at AgileLoad.com. However, in replay it's used the script value, which is load user 0 at AgileLoad.com. So it looks like this script's ready to work. What I'm going to do is actually just log into the site and try and use those credentials to make sure that they do work. So this was load user 0 at AgileLoad.com and the password is password. Click sign in and we're signed in. This is great. So the script's working. Now all I need to do is use it as part of a load generation job. Before I do use this script though, what I want to do is remove the data item that I already used. So I'm just going to go into my file that I created, click on edit and remove load user 0 at AgileLoad.com, and let's just exit that. So now I need to go to AgileLoad Center and create my job so that I can launch my data generation script. So just right click on jobs, new job. We'll call this data gen. Double click to launch it and open it. It's asking me which scripts I want to install. I want to use, sorry, not install, the scripts I want to use. So I want to use a create user script, and that's all fine. I can in fact run this, but it's just going to run a single user. I want to use probably 10 users just to speed up the process. Another video will go through the feature tour of what these options do. I'm just going to take you through what we need to do for this data generation right now. We're going to run 100 iterations of this. Now the thing is we have 1,000 data items, but what we're going to do is use 10 virtual users to generate this data. So 10 instances of this task group running 100 times will generate, of course, 1,000 data items. In scripts, I'm going to set this to be iteration, just a single iteration per execution of the task group. To speed things up, we're going to set the wait mode just to, let's set a fixed value of half a second, 500 milliseconds between each screen. 10 users is fine to do that. So they're going to be running very quickly, but there's only 10 users, so the website I think is going to be fine. And that's all we need to do. Let's just run this script. So the job's now running. We can see we've got our 10 users on board now. If you want to take a look at the monitoring tab and then go into views monitoring, let's take a look at all of them. We can see that they're each on around about iteration 24. We can see the page that they're on. So it shouldn't be long before all our data is generated. We could probably run this even more quickly. So let's fast forward now. Now we're just over halfway through, well, more than 2/3 of the way through. And because we chose the user scope as global, each virtual user gets a unique virtual username. So we should be able to try and log in as user 500. So go to the login page and let's put in user 500 at AgileLoad.com. The password is password. Click on sign in, and of course user 500 doesn't exist because it was load user 500. That's AgileLoad.com. The password was password. My mistake, but it demonstrates that if the data generation hadn't worked, then we wouldn't be able to log in. So I'm going to click on sign in, and we're signed in. So great, we're done. Going back to AgileLoad, we can see now we've finished. So now my website is populated with users, and we can use them as part of our load test. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions, especially how do you create data when you're using not forms-based authentication but single sign-on, for example, then ask them on the forum, or better still, as soon as the video is produced. It's not there yet, but it will be soon. I'll create a video which will go through that. So again, thanks for watching, and please go to agileload.com for more information. Bye bye.